Good evening. My name's Marcos. I'm an RN student at Stanbridge University here in Irvine. Would like to thank you for joining me on my reflection speech for my public speaking course, Com 1050. Public Speaking, a Reflection Speech. Here I'll be going over the public speaking fundamentals. What does public speaking mean to you? Public speaking is a deliberate act of organizing thoughts and using visual images to your audience to display an image or a message to get your point across and to stay away from advanced jargon so that they can understand it in a simplistic manner. Also, in the clinical documentation and my evaluation with work, with neuro and psychological testing, I have to describe clients' cognitive abilities when I write reports and when I'm observing and reporting back to the doctor. Public speaking carries that same responsibility, spoken instead of written, respecting the audience's time, intelligence, and the need for clarity. Hence, when I am explaining something to the doctor, is my need for clarity and keep it as simplistic as possible. Now, as we move into the three fundamentals of effective public speaking: preparation and organization, vocal delivery, and nonverbal communication. First, with preparation and organization, is a clear structure such as your building blocks for your script for your speech, your introduction, your insight on your points, and what for your audience to expect that you will be informing them about. And knowing the material well enough and confident enough to speak from either a first-hand experience, second or third person perspective. And you don't want to follow the script word for word. You also want it to flow naturally and not to have things get awkward or come off as shaky. Now, as I mentioned, shaky, you want to have a good vocal delivery, making sure that your pronunciation and your tone and your delivery and your pauses are all together as one on the speech delivery to your audience. Speaking too quickly or shaky will appear as nervousness or even possibly anxiety to your audience. Nonverbal communication, such as bodily social cues or eye contact, posture. You also want to keep in mind not moving your hands too much, because you don't want to be flailing around in front of your audience. Ethics in public speaking, what is ethical: to be honest, to have integrity, to do what is right and just for the client, for your audience, for anyone that you may be servicing, and doing it in a selfless act and not expecting anything in return. And being ethical is staying away from manipulation and not utilizing weak evidence or counter arguments, but everything that you speak and you touch on, you are believing in it with facts. This relationship foundation with public speaking is a tool of influence, and tool of influence carries the obligation to use it responsibly. Spider-Man's uncle always said, with great power comes great responsibility. So with public speaking, it's important to be responsible, be mature, be professional, and be punctual, and set expectations to let your audience what to expect, and that you're being accurate and truthful in what you explain to them. Why professional language matters? Professional language matters because it helps you build your credibility, and people, if you are not willing to respect yourself and you speak in an ill manner or a slang urban dictionary manner, then you can count on not having as much respect or credibility from your audience or those that are your friends, and when you speak on a subject, because the audience is going to be evaluating everything that you say or do. And for this example, in healthcare, or psych or law, or documentation and testimony in the legal judicial system has to be professional, concise, has to be helpful to the jury and to other personal law-abiding servants, that they understand and that they are respectful in each sense. Engagement and connecting with your audience. Sorry, pardon me. Speech is technically correct because disconnected from the audience fails as its real purpose, being understood, retain engagement, eye contact, relevant examples, acknowledging the audience perspective, even possibly taking Q&A or calling on an audience member to see what their insight is during your speech if it allows for it. Connection and professional communication too matters. Explaining the findings to the family in my educational assessments, and relaying the data back to the doctor for him to tell to the family in the clientele review. And as for my reflections on this course, applying this to my career, this course built a structural approach for me to communicate. I'll carry directly into nursing, into my line of work, into class, into other students that I associate myself with and talk to, and obviously in a respectful and professional manner. And with this healthcare and consulting work, I will carry this into my new type notary and making sure that I build a concrete foundation for my nursing. Both paths depend on explaining technical, high-stakes information on a non-specialist audience. And as I continue to build my career and my credibility with my accolades, I will continue to be credible in what I speak and have high ethical standards and be integral. Biggest takeaways is still building my confidence. Going slowly but surely, but my confidence has been elevated. Constant repetition and preparation, having outlines and knowing what I want to speak about, having good equipment as well is helping me get my story out there and telling my speeches all in this course and what I'm excited to do in my 5 to 7 year plan for nursing and for psychology, and mainly the neurology aspect of nursing. My least favorite aspect and suggestions, the limited online, and there's not much live practice. If I could go back, I would do this course for in-person. I think that would really help me get over that anxiety, or not anxiety, but that stage fright, calm the nerves. The more you expose yourself and the more repetition you do it, eventually you will just get over it. I think for my suggestion for this course for the future would be to probably offer more live speeches, maybe like a live classroom setting that in a Zoom, when kids can just go in and then explain their speech, and or something set up through the Discord or Zoom that all students can go in and practice their speech online, since this course is given online, and to help calm the nerves and help build confidence for public speakers. Personal professional impression. Professionally, this class is reinforced with clear communication. It's a career asset, and it's not a soft skill. It's going to be a technical, tactical skill for when you communicate to your patients, superiors, associates, everyone that you want to convey your ideas and to ensure that it's heard and respected and that everyone is on the same page, whether any task that you may be tackling. It pushed me to be more comfortable with myself and accept myself, and to not get nervous or do unexpected mannerisms when I'm giving a speech, or my voice is not as shaky as much because I've been building the skill and repeating it. Final thoughts. This course gave me practical and framework I'll keep using well beyond my school. Real-time practice, as noted earlier, I wish I would have taken more time to practice in a more lively manner in this course. For this future on public speaking, keep using structured outline for any presentation, rehearse loud, and only review your notes silently, deliberately slow pace, correct pauses, good body language, and staying away from advanced jargon to make sure that your message is delivered in a simplistic manner. And time management matters because time management shows respect, that you're punctual for your audience and that you have clarity, an idea, and you're not going aimless and not just jumping around to conclusions. and that everything is factual in case preparations for depositions, as a retained expert for a nurse practitioner, that you're punctual, professional, and that you're explaining everything in a factual statement with the truth. Thank you so much. My name is Marcos. Again, thank you.